Wow, 1 year ago today, you left my life. It was very hard. I cried so much today. And to think that it's been 1 year. 1 year later, and now I'm choosing to tell your story. I kept you hidden for so long. I didn't want to tell nobody what happened to you. And now it's 1 year later.
I remember I hated this skateboard when you left.
Taking Jersey to visit Mr. Brownie. Felt like it was only yesterday I was here with my buddy Steve and my homie Tone when Tone grabbed Brownie up off of the ground from right there because Brownie was roaming the streets and he had some gum on his butt. And my homie said, "You want him? You want him, Tone?" I said, "Yeah, man, it's sad that my little young boy out there walking around." And Tone grabbed him up for me and we walked straight through this block right here. We walked straight through here, and I remember we were walking and my homie Tone was holding Brownie like a little pup, like probably like 9-10 inches long, probably a little less than that, and he was holding him in the front of his torso.
My guy Tone, good looking Tone. Tone blessed me with 11 years of joy by giving me Brownie.
Till we got over here, because he didn't want the people on the block to see that he scooped him up. Brownie was out there with some little young boy, like a little 6-7-year-old. I guess the family gave him to him so he can stay busy, stay occupied, but the young boy wasn't taking care of him. He was just like holding him like he was some type of rag doll and just kept dropping the dog, and the dog was roaming in the streets, and like I said, the dog had gum on his butt. So I remember when we turned this corner right here, my man Tone put Brownie down on the ground. He put Brownie down right here, right in front of this church. He put him down right here, and I was like 7 feet ahead, and he was like, "Go follow your new owner." Now he put him down right here, and he said, "Go follow your new owner." Yo, Brownie followed me, bro. I was walking, and he followed me right past this church, dog. It was crazy, because you would have never thought that the puppy, before even meeting me, would have followed me like that, because it didn't really know me. But it was almost like it was fate. When I first got Brownie, when he was a puppy, I brought him here so I can get his paperwork done and get his shots. Feels like yesterday. I remember walking him through these gates when he was a little puppy, taking him back there, getting all the paperwork done. Man, time flies. This is the only way I get to see my dog now. It's the only way I get to see him. Is by visiting his grave. One day I hope to be financially stable enough to cut the necessary cubic feet of this grave site and plant it on my location in the back of my business, so I can mourn and remember him whenever I want to. I can't explain how hard it was being out here in the middle of the darkness with a shovel, burying your best friend. making sure that there was enough space for his body to stay flush. I'm wearing the same pants and shirt that I buried him in 1 year ago. I ain't even washed these joints or nothing. I took them off last year, the day I buried him, and folded them up until today. Still have his scent on them. I don't even care though. Sitting in the vehicle, parked up at the spot where we buried him, and it's crazy to think about it. Like, I remember being here after he passed away at 3 a.m. We came probably like a half an hour later. We were out here like 3:30 a.m. and we had his body in the trunk. And that was just a horrible feeling to have, you know, a 4.5 foot being's body in the trunk that's no longer with us, and have to carry him in a bag to try to, you know, hide him discreetly to bury him. It was a crap feeling, yo. I cried so much last year. I cannot emphasize how much I cried back to back, from this process to sitting here with him, to walking with him, to carrying him, to digging the hole with him. It was just crying. Even days after, I was just still in just tears about the whole situation. It was like burying my best friend. It was like burying my son, my child, like a seed, a family member, a sibling. I can't express how close I was to that. I can't even call him a dog. Like, I call him a dog because that's his breed, that's his race, that's what he is, right? Like, we're human and he was a dog, but he was my family. Like, I had him in my most conscious years ever. Like, it's a crap feeling, man. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be vlogging. Because he passed away, it reminded me how important it was to document life, because I don't have as much documentation of him as I would like to. And I wish I documented more of his life. And I wish I was able to dedicate more of my time to him. And it just sucks, guys. It sucks that it ended here. 11 years after I got him. Now we're in the first year of him not being here. And it just, time flew by so fast, but yet it feels like forever. Like, I wish I could have my friend back. One of the things that bothered me most about losing Brownie was that I've had a lot of dogs in my life. I've had a lot of animals in general. But I had Brownie in some of my most conscious years ever. I had him when my mind was opening and my mind was developing. And believe it or not, I think his mind was opening and he was becoming more conscious as well. And it hurt me. Like, I felt like when he died, a piece of me died. I went through a period of darkness. I wanted to quit everything. I wanted to stop everything. I didn't want to shoot no more. I didn't want to be Toonography Entertainment no more. I thought about rebranding my company, rebranding my name, a name that was specifically designed to keep his name going. Like, I went through 100 trials and tribulations in my head. Like, I just wanted to back out of everything. I wanted a regular, average Joe life. Like, I just wanted to be simple, man. And it was because I felt like I had no reason to do it anymore. And it may still not be comprehensible to some people to understand or fathom, like, how a dog can put such an impact on a human being's life. But the only way that I can express it is a piece of me died when he passed away. He was planted next to this tree. And my belief is the proteins from his body, since he's biodegradable, were absorbed into this tree. And these new extensions, these new limbs of this tree right here is my guy Brownie. You gone, but you're not forgotten, brother.
That's what you did.
So I'm here with the wife and we driving, about to go hit this juice spot because I'm gonna get a juice. I'm gonna drink one for Brownie. And we're here trying to recollect the event, the last week of him getting sick. One of the main reasons why this week was hard for me when my wife was in the hospital, many people don't know that I was going through very similar signs and symptoms with Brownie the last week that he was on Earth. I had to take care of him, trying to give him food, trying to give him liquid. He wasn't retaining liquid or food. He was throwing it back up. For 5 days, about 4 or 5 days, he struggled and he slowly deteriorated in my arms. And I did everything I could. And it was very similar to the signs and symptoms my wife was going through when she was throwing up and she wasn't holding food and she wasn't holding water or nothing. It was really, really scary. And we're thinking about it because he died on a Saturday. October 28th at 3 a.m. is when he passed. Literally at 3 a.m. About 2:59 he woke me up, and at 3 a.m. he passed away. And he got sick the top of the week on Monday. We're like thinking about it. I remember the last day before he got sick, we took him out to 3 outings on Sunday, and we took him to Huntington Park. We took him to like a local lot on the top of American Street, and then we also took him to Kensington High School's football field. Both of them, we took them both for a jog and run, and they were both fine. They appeared fine. He ran his heart away. He was just running. And it's sad too, because I remember that last day he was out. This is Huntington Park. This is where he came to run around at. This was locked, and we weren't allowed in here. And you know what we did? I wanted my boy to go in here. So I told my wife, all right, pass me him. I hopped over, and we lifted him up, and we physically pulled him over and put him down. And we did the same with Jersey, and we lifted them both over, and then I helped my wife jump over, and we let them run in the field because they're not supposed to be playing in here. But we're like, man, bump that. Like, we gonna let Brownie experience this grass, you feel me? And he got a chance to sprinkle Pete a little bit. He ran, he ran all the bases. He ran like he never ran before, and who knew that was gonna be his real last session of running, man. This was once a lot with grass, and this was one of the 3 places that he ran at last before he got sick. That Monday was when he started showing minor signs that he was sick. Like, it started with like a basic vomit, but we didn't think nothing of it because, you know, sometimes dogs go to the park and they eat grass, and I was like, okay, maybe he ate some grass and that's why he was vomiting. But vomiting prolonged and led to not eating, and then led to him trying to drink and then throwing it up. And by day 3, he couldn't even stand on his own 4 paws. Like, he was really fragile, really weak. And the part that killed me most, it was like this week too. I was going through that in my personal life. Not many people knew that I was going through it, but I still had to produce. I still had to create. I was shooting 2 music videos at the time that Brownie died, and I had to record the box unboxing audio, which was the hardest thing of a lifetime because he was behind me. Literally, I had to record the voiceover the day before he passed away, and it was so hard because he was behind me, like in the most agonizing pain. You could see it in his face, and I remember telling him like it's okay, boy. Like, I was crying, I was broken, like no lie, I was distraught, and I was telling him, it's okay, boy. You don't have to hold on anymore for me. Like, I don't want to be selfish, and if you need to let go, you can let go if it helps you, like, you know what I mean? And it killed me. And he looked over at me. He didn't have no strength. Like, throughout the day, he barely had any strength. But while I was editing, I was telling him that while he was laying down, he just put his eyes up, he put his head up, and he looked at me, man, and it killed me, yo. It killed me so bad. And the next day, he passed away, yo, and it was like...
You want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk? You ready?
One of the hardest things ever. And the craziest part is that you guys know that my wife just went through this whole scenario with her in the hospital and everything, right? She told me on the last day of her being in the hospital, which was, if we did the mathematics, which was one of the very first days he got sick last year, she told me that when she was dreaming, she had a dream that he visited her on the hospital bed, and that he was sitting in between her, like her legs, like kind of like in her lap. I don't know, like protecting her, I guess, but it was in her dream, and she like saw one of the medical staff on her left-hand side doing something, doing a gesture, and she saw Brownie, our dog, on her lap, and he just ran away from her. And upon him running away from her, like walking away, kind of like running away, and something about he let her know that everything was going to be all right. That's the message that she relayed to me, that Brownie said to me, that everything's going to be all right. When he walked away and she saw him disappear and fade off, she woke up, and she woke up in an extreme sweat, like she had a fever. And the nurse immediately came when she woke up out of the dream, the nurse came and checked her fever, and she was like 99.9 or something. And the day after that, she was feeling a lot better, guys. And I'm not saying that had anything to do with it, but I just find it eerily, creepy, powerfully coincidental that my guy Brownie looked out for Mama Bear and he visited her in the dream to let her know that everything was gonna be okay. That was super duper powerful. Like, when she told me that, I broke down in tears. I started crying. Like, immediately I started crying, because I was like, I asked them throughout these weeks, like, please, you know, if I ever step away from the hospital, can you just watch her? Like, you know, make sure nobody walks in the room and does anything funny. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not too spiritual or religious for that matter, but when it comes to Brownie, I believe that he can hear me somehow. Brownie, it's been 1 year, yo. We've came to you when we had good times, and we came to you when we had rough times. I asked you for help this past week to help take care of my wife. And you did everything you could in your power to help lead her to the right path. I just want to say thank you, man, and I'm sorry. And I'll tell you sorry. I told you sorry the day I put you down here and I buried you. I told you sorry every visit I come to visit you, and I'm still telling you sorry now, man. I'm sorry that I didn't provide a better life for you, and just sorry it went by so fast, man. I was focused on work, on life, on trying to make it so we can have an entertaining life, and you never got a chance to see the entertaining side of it. And I feel so selfish for just focusing on my end goal without focusing on the beings or the sentient creatures around me. I told myself this year that I wanted to be a better person when you left, and although I was doing my best in the beginning, I steered off to a path of autopilot, and I started becoming cold again and forgetting the type of being you were. You were a kind and happy creature, and I want to continue to be a kind and happy creature for you, to my friends, to my family, to everyone around me, including myself. Guard over me, guard over my family, guard over all my loved ones, guard over the viewers, guard over Jersey. I'm sorry, man. I love you, dog. Like, I can't believe 1 year has passed. I used to sleep next to him since he was a puppy, since he was this small, since he was a little teeny weeny puppy, about the size of his head, 7-8 inches long. And I used to sleep next to him every night, no matter the weather, no matter the condition. There were a few nights I had to make an exception, because at the time when I first got with my wife, she wasn't too much of a dog person. But with that being said, I still made an exception. Even though she didn't like the dog sleeping in the bed, I would still let my homeboys sleep on the bed and rock out with me. And we was always back to back. We was like this, always stuck to each other. He would always find a way to like squeeze under my arm, or like if it was cold, like he would cuddle on me. And up until the night he passed away, like he died, literally stuck to me. Like, he woke me up like 2:58, I would say 2:59, because I remember when I looked at the cell phone after his life passed, I remember just looking at the cell phone and it said 3 o'clock on the dot, and I thought to myself, like, wow, like, he died 3 a.m. on me. Like, I was sleeping and all I remember was just hearing him choke and just regurgitate, like choking on his saliva or whatever he was trying to bring up. And we turned on the light and I turned around and he's just like having like, I don't know if it was like a seizure or just something. And he just started choking and I'm shaking him and I'm holding him and I'm like, Brownie, you got this, boy. You know, you got it, Brownie. And he didn't have it. He died in my arms. He passed over right there with my wife and Jersey watching. I hated the fact that I had to leave him out here. I remember the night I put him out here, I almost felt like coming back to dig him back out and bring him closer. But I realized that I couldn't be selfish. I don't think she understands. Wonder if she smells his scent through the ground. But this is where he's at. See, look at that. She's smelling the plants. You never know. Dogs have extra keen scents. Dog's supposed to smell like, what, 25 feet away, right? I remember asking the universe, like, oh man, you know, I hope my young boy has a litter before he leaves this earth. And I hope he gets one off because he's never been mated. And I had him for like 10 years and he was never mated. And when we got her, she made his day and gave him a litter. He passed over, and that was one of the coldest days in my life. Like, I've been through a lot of human funerals. You guys don't understand. I've had a lot of humans pass away, and there were not many humans who touched me like the way Brownie touched me when he left this earth. No. And I swear, Jersey even started acting different. Like, Jersey started taking on his traits. Like, when we would go to the park, Jersey didn't care about pooping. She didn't care about sniffing. She rarely cared about peeing. Literally, the day after he passed away and we started taking her out, she started going crazy for the scents. She started like, immediately pooping. She started peeing. Like, in a way, she started doing what he would do. Like, it was weird. It was almost like he kind of like... the way I would like to think of it is that when he passed next to us, a piece of him went in all of us. Me, my wife, and Jersey. And I'm shocked. I thought I was going to be more heartbroken and ripped for this vlog. Like, I envisioned this vlog being such a dark time for me because last year I didn't want to talk to nobody, y'all. I was like a hermit crab. I was like a rock. I stopped editing for 2 weeks. I stopped all calls. I didn't pay attention to nothing. I just blocked out the world. Friends and family. Because one of the main beings that was always there for me, no matter what, who was always there for me was Brownie. And he was no longer around anymore. I remember every time I come and visit him here, and I would walk off, it feels so vivid. Like, I'd see him standing here next to the trees, just sitting. Like, he would wait for me, like he would sit, and I would see him, like that last scene in Titanic, you know, when Rose sees the whole entire Titanic ship and everybody that was in it as it was before it went down. That's kind of how I see him when I leave this site. I see him just sitting there waiting for me, letting me know that everything's gonna be alright and that he's gonna hold down the fort. Sucks, y'all. That's all I can say, is that it sucks, y'all. But rather than remembering the bad things, I just want to finish off remembering a few good things about him, a good trait or two. He had several good traits, but I remember being a kid when I used to work and I was like a teenager. I say kid, I would say like my late teens, 16, 17, and I was coming home after work. I remember my pop used to tell me that Brownie used to wait by the door, or he'll wait at the top of the steps, or he'll wait next to my pop, like sleeping. And when I would park up to come in from work, like at the end of the night, 10 o'clock at night after I had an 8-hour shift, I would come to the door and my pop would tell me that Brownie knew I was coming to the door, whether he was at the top of the steps or no matter where he was at in the house. When I was coming to the door, he smelled me and he waited right by the door. When I would open up the door, I remember always seeing Brownie right there, jumping on me. And he may rock out with my pop throughout the daytime. He used to rock out with him. But when it came to me coming home, he was my tail. He would stay glued to me. He would come right up to my room with me and he would just chill with me. It's like he looked forward to seeing me, man. Now she's alone. She don't have a partner to run with. And now she can run free for the both of them.
Yo, he would automatically, the second I would hit it, he would just, with his paws down, like, boop,